Welcome to Scale Model Basics. I'm Aaron Skinner, and we're going to take a look at basic techniques for dealing with photo-etched metal parts. Now, these parts will be found in a lot of modern kits, and sometimes they're essential to building the models. They're also available as aftermarket parts, so learning how to deal with it is an essential part of building a detailed scale model. The first thing to learn is how to remove the parts from the fret that the photo-etched metal parts come on. To do that, the most essential thing you want to keep in mind is how not to send the part flipping off into space, because the pressure from that knife blade cutting through can do that. There are a couple of ways to do that. One of the ways that I really like is to use a Post-it note, put the sticky side up, place the part that you're going to cut off on the sticky side, press it into place, then take a hobby knife. You can use a chisel blade. I use a number 11 blade, and then just light pressure, drag it across or press it through the attachment point, and the Post-it note should keep the part from going off into space, and then you can just peel it up once it's removed, and there you have your photo-etched metal part. The other technique you can use to keep it restrained is put the part inside a plastic bag. In this case, I'm using the little baggie that the parts came in, but a Ziploc bag works just as easily. And then this time, same thing, just cut straight through the plastic bag, through the attachment point, and the plastic bag will keep the part contained. So then you can shake it out, and there you have that part removed also. Now, just like with plastic parts, photo-etched parts usually need just a little bit of cleanup before you can go ahead and use them. You can see on this part that there are these little nubs left from the attachment points. I didn't cut these quite as cleanly as I should have, but they're easy to clean up with a fine grit sanding stick. Just hold it against the part and drag it along in the direction of the edge. Don't go across the edge because you risk bending and deforming the part, but just drag it along, and after a few strokes, you'll see that it's getting the attachment point flush with the edge, and you have a nice clean edge on that part. So the next thing we want to talk about is attaching photo-etched metal parts to your model. The best glue to use is super glue. It will allow you to bond metal to plastic and or resin, or even to metal. And it is quick, easy to use, and unless you stick yourself to yourself, problem-free. So the basic technique is take some super glue. I'm going to use a little applicator here and apply some to the surface that we're going to attach the part to. Pick up the part and then just lay it into place, press it into place. And then I'm going to just take a little bit more glue and flow it under the part from the edges, just to be sure we've got a good thing. You can also use accelerator if you need to. In this case, this glue's setting fairly quickly, so I'm not going to bother using it. But within a matter of seconds, that part is on there and it's not going anywhere. Not all photo-etched metal needs to be flat on a model. Some things need to be bent. To do that, you can buy some very expensive tools, and some of those will actually be useful if you do a lot of photo-etched metal. But the most basic technique involves a metal straight edge and a razor blade. You take the metal straight edge, lay it along the bend line, and then take the razor blade. Make sure you don't move the part. So put some pressure on the straight edge. Put the razor blade up under there, and then just rotate the razor blade to vertical. And you have a nicely bent part. So this box needs a couple more bends. I'll do the next one with the razor blade and the straight edge again. Just this now the straight edge can go right up against the already bent part, and the same thing. So now you have those two parts. I'm gonna bend that too far. Just fine tuning it. But the problem with this last one is I can't get the straight edge in there. So this is where something as simple as tweezers are useful. So take the tweezers, place it on the part as close to the bend as possible, and just bend that part up. This will work for small bends. The tweezers will not work great for larger bends, but that's where the specialty tools come in most useful. So there's the control box. Flip it over, you can see the detail on the outside. So the only thing left is to take a little super glue and run it along the sides to seal the edges and hold the box's shape. So in addition to tweezers, you can also buy flat-jawed pliers. You can see there's no serrations on the inside here, no grip, but these are perfect for bending photo-etched metal parts. And again, it's a simple matter of using those jaws, place it close to the end, and then just bend the part. Again, the only thing you need to do is take a little super glue, run it into the join, and you have, again, a nice little control box. Some photo etch needs to be rounded, not flat. In which case, again, you can buy special tools, mandrels that give you different shapes, but you don't necessarily need those. Look around your workshop for an object that is about the size of the curve you need. In this case, with this seat, this knife blade is about the right diameter of the curve. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this on the flat of the seat. I'm going to use my razor blade just to start the curve. So then just bend it around the seat, or around the knife blade handle rather. And so then you have a curve. Now it's not quite exactly where I need it right now, but I will adjust it once we get the sides bent, which I'm going to do next. I'll take the flat pliers and bend the two sides to match. And actually you can see that that bottom is fairly close. It needs to be flattened slightly at the bottom and then curved a bit more at the front end. Some of this you can do, this metal's thin enough that you can do it by hand. And this is where you don't want to be making too many bends. Photo etch can eventually break if you're not careful. And then once you're happy with the position, the shape, just super glue again. I'm going to accelerate this because it's an awkward shape and I want to be sure it holds. And again, you can refine the shape as you go. But ultimately, what you end up with is a better representation of the seat than the kit part that it's replacing. So those are the basic techniques for dealing with photo etch metal, whether it's removing the parts from the fret, attaching them, bending them, more complicated bends. You know, photo etch can be a little daunting the first time you use it, but it doesn't have to be difficult. Master a few techniques, pick up a couple of tools, you'll have it made. So try photo etch on your next model. Thanks for watching. I'm Aaron Skinner. We'll see you next time.